What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another special episode of the Climb. My name is X-Ray. Joining me this week are two special individuals. They were here the very first episode of the Climb, and I decided, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, as we're recording this, and I said, let's have a special episode. AKA Brissy had canceled last minute, and we got Giuseppe to come in. And honestly, I was okay with it. So, welcome Giuseppe Heck and Gamer D.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Glad you're okay with it.
Yeah, yep.
I was like, hey, let's get it.
Dude, I'm pretty excited. Week 6 is over, plus the non-scheduled games, so we're going into playoffs, and it's pretty exciting. But I say we cover the games quickly, and then we'll talk about playoffs because that's what I really want to talk about. So just starting off, I'm just going to go over some quick games that we are not going to go in depth about. We're just going to kind of just speed run through them. So first off, we got Rookies and Cream versus Alan and the Chipmunks. Alan and the Chipmunks FF'd, and Rookies and Cream locked the first seed in Pool A, so congrats to them. Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs versus Bewear Gaming. Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs 2-0 versus Bewear. McMammals versus Summit Admins. Summit Admins 2-0 McMammals. GFC, Guards First League Class versus Power of Friendship, 2-0 in a very dominant fashion per Jason. And then the Gauntlet versus Wawa Warriors, very unfortunate scenario, but the Gauntlet 2-1ing. And then Final Boss versus Elo Surfers, Elo 2-0 versus Final Boss. Basically, Elo won game 1, and then Final Boss was like, nah, we're done, so they FF'd.
Yeah, Ryan had some Blue Otter stuff to do. So.
Okay, fair. But yeah, that pretty much covers most of the non-scheduled games. We're gonna talk about one non-scheduled game I've substituted for the Gauntlet versus Wawa Gaming because I didn't really want to get too in depth to that one. But first off, let's just start off with a congratulations to all the players and teams that made it to finals, and unfortunate loss to all those teams that fell short this season. And honestly, there was a lot of teams that I would say and I talked about it in the power rankings yesterday, but there were two teams that I really want to talk about just quickly is Alan and the Chipmunks and Final Boss, because I honestly thought these guys were finally figuring out how they wanted to play the game, and they found a winning code to everything. And they unfortunately just if we had 3 more weeks, I think they honestly could have made a playoff run, because there were a couple teams that were looking pretty rough around the edges, but still made playoffs. So honestly, I don't really have anything else about the teams that didn't make it. I don't know if you guys have anything, Joe. If you got anything about the teams that didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I think is kind of interesting is how hot Power of Friendship started. They piss rolled Wawa Warriors, and it looked like they were going to be the top of the group. I think at one point they had 8 points, and the next closest was 5.
Yeah,
but I'm not really sure what happened there. I guess kind of as the season went on, some teams improved or maybe sort of figured out the draft identity, maybe more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, they won their first 2 weeks in 2-0s, lost to the Gauntlet week 3, and then 2-1 World Soup, and then proceeded to get 0-2'd the next 3 weeks, which...
Yeah, that's insane.
I think that they benefited a lot from, knowing each other very early, so, kind of gave them that, synergy early on, and they adapted a playstyle very quickly because of that, and then, as the season gone on, they developed a formula that worked, and then other teams figured out the formula, and then were able to kind of go against it, and POF wasn't able to adapt quickly enough to a different play style that teams were kind of expecting out of what they had been doing the first 4 weeks.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, there was also a lot of players on teams, just more specifically Bewear Gaming, Firestorm made a really good argument, so I really hope he comes back, because I think if he's on just a little bit of a better team, he actually is going to shine in this league, I would say. So
No, yeah. I mean, he was somebody that like talked to me pretty consistently pre-draft and post-draft, and like kind of asking about a lot of people in the server and like, who's this person, who's that person, like how would you recommend like going about draft and everything? Because he just flat out didn't know anybody but Yahuzi. But I think he individually performed very well, and I think that if they're able to get a team like if Firestorm Boxer and Yahuzi want to play together again next season, and they get a team where Yahuzi can play top lane and Firestorm can play jungle, then I think that the result will be a lot better than BG was this season.
For sure. Yeah, I think like even that, I mean, BG 10. Well, we'll talk about their one of their series. We'll talk about their series, the Week 6 series, because that was really hyped for me. I enjoyed watching that one. Yeah, I mean, speaking of the games, I think we should just get into it and talk about them. So starting off, we got Rookies and Cream versus Gawr's first grade class. So game 1, Pony was out. And then OSHA Inspector was in. Rookies and Cream, really good early game. GFC just getting caught out and always overextending. And I thought it was a possible draft if is what I have in the notes. But when I look at it more, I mean, the only reason GFC was in this game for so long was just because Jason on the Ziggs was just so far ahead and able to kind of destroy the game throughout the whole series, or the whole game, I should say. And then I have 3 fights that I want to just highlight real quick that I think GFC either A, struggled or kind of just had bad coordination. So GFC picks out Patstick in the top lane. It's a 5v4. GFC's this is like they're kind of like turning point because they're down 5k gold at this point. The fight actually really was winnable for GFC, but going back to my like previous point of like draft, basically TV flashes and gets on Jason and kills him, and then pretty much every damage, like there's no more damage on the side of GFC, so it just turns into this basically like 1v4 of where, or like 1v3 of TV just bullying the rest of GFC, and they basically turned into a bad play by or getting picked by Patstick to a amazing play and getting, I think, like 3 of them. Yeah, I think 3 of them. So, and then there was a turning point where actually Rookies and Cream actually fell off. Like they lost a lot of gold. Oh, Joe is in the dark. Adolph and Gawr are able to pick.
My monitor. My shit just turned off completely. This happened to us during the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm back.
He's here. He's still here. Adolpho and Gawr able to pick off an out-of-position array, able to get TV shut down onto Jason, and GFC wrote to Baron and start taking it, but Rookies and Cream remaining's team, Pony, Patstick, and Pony were able to actually stop it. But I lied. GFC rotate to Baron, they get it. Rookies and Cream kind of just make a bad of macro plays or micro plays, and basically TP in, walk up to a still very healthy GFC. I don't know how they were that healthy after taking Baron, but they're basically able to take their 5 gold lead and make it pretty much even with taking out Patstick and top tier 2 after they take that. Finally take it back. Game kind of progresses, At this point, Rookies and Cream are still accruing that gold lead because, they keep pressuring opposite sides of the map, taking really good fights. Brissy gets caught out, and GFC, and this is like the nail in the coffin, I would say, because after this, it was pretty much game over. Brissy gets caught. GFC try to make a mid play as Rookies go for a dragon, but instead turn to a crippled team as they are missing a support. GFC just so split up Odysseus and Jason, and like this whole last fight was just so chaotic because basically Jason and Odysseus go for TV, kill him, but Gawr is pretty much going into a 3v1, and I don't know why. And then Array just doing a really good job of zoning off Adolfo because he misses ult. on with Briar, and at that point the fight's pretty much over. I think they get Dragon Soul or Elder, and then I mean that's pretty much game after that. There's a couple other fights. GFC tried to fight, but they're just unable to find the pick just because of how strong Rich and Cream are. And then I'm gonna be honest, I don't really want to talk about game 2. I do remember it. It was just a very, very bloody game. And by Jason, he told me yesterday they just trolled pick because it didn't have any impact in the series for like playoffs. So
yeah, that Draven ain't it.
The Teemo jungle was very interesting. Okay, I wasn't expecting
has been meta for like 2 months now. So I mean,
which is crazy, by the way. I'd never see it. I haven't seen it yet in my league games, but you know, I'm
ran into me.
I'm due apparently, but yeah, let's pass it over to Gamer D.
Yeah, I mean, early in the game, like Odysseus looked really good on Yone. Into Array, he was farming very well. A couple unfortunate fights and kind of touch figure showing up, and then wasn't able to like scale quite as well, like to become that secondary carry for GFC. I apologize to all of Summit for bringing in mage bots into the league, and Jason picking the Ziggs.
It's not your fault. It's Riot's. Why would you want to bring mages into the bot lane?
Dude, it's definitely Woojin's fault.
Woojin?
He's
in like La Liga Season 3. Well, I don't remember what that team was called.
You know what? I think that was the year I that was the year I drafted, and I think we did. Oh no, was that Broncos Country? No,
not Summit, brothers. La Liga. I'm talking La Liga. The last time that Daniel Woojin played AD carry in Summit. What other teams? That was the WSU one, and there was 100 Robbers. I can't remember any other team names. But I remember he was playing like Seraphim.
I'm gonna search it because I'm curious now who was on that team.
Dude, I fuck with that Chrome background X-ray. The viewers can't see that, but it's 0-2. This is a man who knows his 2D women.
Listen, you should see this wall above my monitors. It's filled of just figurines. So
some 3D 2D women.
Yeah, I have 3D 2D women. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you pick your favorite every night, or how does that go?
No. But Gamer D, continue with your that's some.
I mean, first game was like it's a 40-minute banger, but second game, GFC obviously didn't care, so whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Fair enough. All right, Giuseppe, you got any thoughts for this?
Yeah, I didn't see this since I didn't have adequate time to prepare to watch all of the games as we discussed.
What do you mean? You had 30 minutes and you were in a solo queue game,
which I won, by the way. My thoughts. I've heard that Jason played well, and I think that's because he's unemployed. I have nothing else to say.
Fair. Oh, you know what? I don't think I have anything from Season 3 because I wasn't here that season, I think. No, I think
I didn't play that season. I just watched the games.
I swear I did. Maybe I didn't. All right, anyways.
That was the team. That season was stupid. That was the peak super sub.
La Liga Season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was like Logic, Sporadic, and then T-Money. They were so OP.
I bet if I go far into the docs, I could find it. No, that's not it. This isn't it. Damn it. Okay. I'll go into the docs later and we'll find it later. But let's move on to the next game. And I'm actually going to have you guys talk about this one a little bit more because I'm a little biased and everything like that. And so some admins versus Sprinklrrs, Tinklrrs. I mean, my thoughts, like I said, my thoughts on the series are very biased. We kind of got our shit kicked in, I'll be honest. Just took really bad fights. Our drafts were not really great. Some admins, I think, just are just a really bad matchup for us in terms of like play styles. You know, you look at this team, right? You got Cookies, who's just really good at rotating around the map, playing those junglers. You know, the Udyr, Poppy, the Skarner, really good champions about just moving around the map and creating plays. Strain and Tubby just really good at neutralizing bot lanes. The Sivir Seraphine lane was just really annoying to play against. And then Frost, I mean, you know, for a rookie, I would honestly say he's has a statement to basically say I'm gonna be Rookie of the Year. I would honestly say. Now I
wouldn't. PD is going down, baby.
Yeah. So like, Frost is making a really good statement because I don't know. He's just even though he's off role, he is playing phenomenally and doing an incredible job of being that like kind of like secondary carry / primary carry in some games for some admins. So I think they're playing great. And then to finish it off, Cake I think is just this. Playing against him, I have more thoughts on him, but like he's just this aggressive player that just is really good at taking advantages of those very small micro mistakes that laners make. And you know, I definitely did not play the lane to the best of my ability, and I know that for sure. And Cake was just really good at punishing me, you know, and everything like that. But no, I'm gonna send it to you guys. So Giuseppe, what are your thoughts on this series?
So I mean, I saw more of this than the previous one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I think this can kind of be distilled to like Frost Gap. That guy is unbelievably OP, like for his point value. And I said this the first time I was on the climb. When I watched him play against Gumby, you know, like the fucking Jesus Christ of Summit, right? Like the best player that any of us have ever seen, sitting in the mid lane. And I'm watching this Frost guy on Vlad go like almost even, like not quite, but almost. I'm like, this doesn't add up. It was an impressive performance, and I think he's continued that. Some of the games at the start of the season, he looked a little shakier.
Yeah.
But lately he's been looking really good, and the Vlad in particular is really, really scary. So I don't know. We're not going to ban it because we're not afraid. Just kidding. We're gonna ban it. But it's kind of interesting to see him play really, really well into like theoretically higher elo players. And I know that Loco is auto-filled, but you know the mid jungle duo of Sprinklrr and Loco should be better than most. You know, Sprinklr's like a top 2 jungle. What am I saying, man? That guy sucks. Sprinklrr has been carried by Gumby Power his whole career. He should stick to betting.
Wow.
Whole career, man. If you look into the lore of the University of Ottawa esports team, this guy's been getting backpacked by Gumby since like 2012. You know, why did they lose the series? That's why.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I think Frost played really well. And then obviously like Thim. Like Thim is like, he's not the primary carry of his team for like the first time ever. And I think he's performing well in the secondary role. Yeah. You know, like having Sprinklrr to try to put the backpack on, and then Thim sort of like winning or going even in lane, and then carrying the team throughout. But this was tough because the Summit admin's bot lane strategy is just like outrange and neutralize. So they just push the shit out of you. And it's a little non-interactive when they just auto clear the wave.
Right.
So it was tough. And then the Camille is a little hard for your champ pull X-ray.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely was thinking about saying something at like you like, hey, we should probably ban Camille, like, because that champ was kind of AIDS to play against. But you know, I definitely thought I had a better pick into it, but oh well, you know, it happens. But yeah, game D. Oh.
Yeah, I think the day that Sim learns how to manage a wave is the day that he hits GM. Like, the guy's got hands. I mean, he's, like, crazy cracked at this video game. It's just, yeah, a little bit of wave management, and especially with, like, a solid support like Enderfridge, I think that they can gap, like, a good majority of these bot lanes. I do think that Tinklrrs is incredibly lucky that some admins are on the opposite side of the bracket, because they match up very well. I think a long cake no offense, X-Ray gaps you 5 out of 5 times.
Just wait.
Like realistically,
wait for the
Sprinklrr
6th time.
Have to rely on Sprinklrr, an auto-filled jungler. Like, I know he's played jungle a lot, but he's a top laner mostly. Like, that's what he hit GM on, to like carry the game, because Loco's not going to be able to get ahead of Frost, and Thim isn't going to be able to get ahead of Strand. So you're just kind of reliant on your jungler to hard carry a game, then it's just not going to work. So Tinklrrs got a little bit lucky, have a little bit of an easier ride to finals with some admins on the other side of the bracket. Yeah, Frost has been playing like crazy, obviously, and that first game, I think, might have been one of the best Poppy games you could ask for, with how many dashes there were in that game. You just throw a W and you just cancel out 4 out of 5 team members. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, good job, some admins. I mean, they're looking really good. Formidable opponent, and I think we have a lot to prep for coming into first round of playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. Hot take. All right, if we play some admins in the finals, I think it's going to 5 games, but I think we're taking the dub. Okay, but you know what? I think
the confidence.
I think honestly, I think some admins might beat you guys, but we'll talk about more of that. But I think some admins beats you guys, loses to Rookies and Cream though. That's my current thoughts on if my predictions of playoffs goes accordingly. So,
I think we're about to touch the fuck out of this team.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on to our next game. By far my favorite game this week, Bewear versus Alan and the Chipmunks. Can we just get a big little clap for Bewear Gaming for not going undefeated this season? Let's go, Bewear. Finally.
Undefeated?
Or
you mean winless?
Winless, sorry. Winless. But yes, I was Bewear honestly kind of surprised me this series. Game 1, I mean, first off, BBQ Leona was out and Xenix was in. And I'm very surprised that, honestly, Xenix did not get picked up in the draft because he was in the Combine. And I actually thought this guy was a really good top laner. And I thought he was actually better than Banana. But, that maybe I'm throwing out some shade here.
It's the name. You're going to pick a guy named Banana over a guy named Xenix.
Yeah, so, but I think Xenix was mid. Naki went to the support role, and he played Elise game 1, which was interesting. Fairly one-sided for Alan and the Chipmunks, but King Caterwall and OT Gator able to kind of pull off, play very well. Man, I have nothing on Bewear, even though they won the series. I think Xenix played Swain, if I'm not mistaken, and just kind of 1v9'd it, and just was crazy. Oh, never mind. I forgot this one went to 3 games. So, like I said, Alan, very one-sided. Game 2, Bewear with their first points. Let's go. Pog moment. And then I think this game was just kind of came down to just who had better macro. Because basically Alan would bring all their members to one side of the map, and then Bewear would just take advantage of that and just push mid, push the opposite lane, or get an objective across the map, Dragon Baron. Basically, whenever Alan had to move all their members to one side of the map, which I don't know why they're moving all their players to one side of the map to kill one person. Bewear Game had really good macro and just was able to do it. And then game 3 finally was fairly Bewear favored, but stream randomly ends out of nowhere. So I know Bewear wins, but I don't know where the rest of this what happened. So that's really all I got. So Gamer D.
Yeah, I think Keith on Seraphine goes hard. I think that's a really good pick for him. I think if he actually would have been drafted for bot lane, he could have been like a pretty big impact player, like on these mage picks. I don't think I don't think Ashe is a good secondary pick for when Seraphine gets banned. I think he should have went to like Swain or Zyra or Brand or Veigar or like another mage bot lane.
The Veigar bot would have been crazy, actually.
I mean, Veigar, you look at my match history, Veigar bot lane goes fucking hard. It's the easiest shit in the world. You just farm for 20 minutes and then you kill everybody.
Well, his cage is so powerful in the bot lane too, because like no one in the bot lane really has a whole lot of dashes. So it's like, oh, cage, oh, they're locked in the cage for 3 seconds.
Yeah. And I think if Keith would have picked something like that, would have been a little bit better than Ashe. But I mean, he didn't do terrible on Ashe. But I think that just like going that way. Yeah, I mean, you would have expected like a team like Alan and the Chipmunks to be a little bit more cohesive with each other, considering there's 4 friends on that team who communicate with each other for like 8 hours a day online. But they just, I mean, for a long time they had a team member that wasn't willing to communicate, so that's a little bit difficult.
You mean take a summoner spell, right?
No.
Oh.
I mean,
that too.
Each player has their own style. Like, obviously, you can't boot somebody for being bad or not taking flash or whatever, but like just a lack of communication or whatever that was going on there. Maybe it could have been, I mean, a rough start to the season. I think in a longer season they could have scaled. King Caterwall looked really good top lane, and obviously Keith was looking good ADC or bot lane. So who knows?
I actually had them making playoffs in my preseason rankings. I had to make it going 4th, actually.
Oh my god, what did I say?
I think that's somewhat reasonable, though. Like, given how strong their bot lane was on paper.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, hey, this GM Masters bot lane, because honestly, it reminded me a lot of ZWD, how we had Goblin and Halzeev in the bot lane, and they kind of just ran the league, honestly, in the bot lane. So
it also reminded us of Krusty Trap.
Yes, that was the other thing. Is this team on paper looked a lot like Krusty Trap, but like the soul laners were a major improvement, and your bot lane was improvement. And I said it was funny because Gator was on both teams. It was on Alan and in Krusty Trap, so I thought it was very funny how he was like, you know what, I did it once. Let's see if I can do it again. So. That's kind of how I thought Gator was gonna do.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to be like on that team, Krusty Trap, and like it didn't work out very well, and then draft like exact fucking replica.
Yes.
Of Krusty Trap.
In Gator's defense, and this is like no shade to all tourists, but like theoretically, your GM support should make the lane way better than your like diamond support.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I see the philosophy, and I think this is exactly the I thought going into draft. When I picked Elo Surfers, I was like, okay, the best player in the draft is the best asset because the surrounding average of players is much higher than it was historically. Like if you look at like the options team where there was previously a challenger jungler in Summit that had a poor surrounding team. Strand was his second best player, and everyone else was like silver or below. And the quality of his teammates was not high enough. They couldn't stonewall their lanes enough to let him carry them. But I think now, with the average rank being close to like Diamond 4, you can actually get away with elo stacking your team in a certain lane, like bot or mid jungle, like etc. You can like play with 2 super high elo players, and you don't just get piss rolled by like 4 diamonds. But for some reason, that did not work out. And honestly, I don't really know why. Because it seemed to have worked out for most of the other teams, That invested in like a really high elo combo, either like mid jungle or bot. They just could not execute.
I mean, the Gauntlet and us elo surfers are, we have those high end. The Gauntlet even, but like World Soup Center and Allen and Chipmunks just didn't make playoffs, despite like kind of the same formula.
Yeah,
I think
it's pretty
World
weird.
Soup Center had a little bit of difference with like somebody playing significantly below what their peak was, but that's another story.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have no idea what the explanation for that is. But I do just want to say on this series, so the Blank Knight, the sub for Alvin and the Chipmunks, came in on the Irelia. This guy is like 100 games silver 2, by the way.
Which is crazy to me. Was not expecting that.
He made some plays.
Came out of left field. I was like, wait, Blank Knight? Aurelia?
Yeah.
This must be the best silver player I've ever seen. And like you said, he had some good plays, but
Yo, get him on the Summit Gold team.
Dude, seriously.
With me and Strand and Brissy.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, that would actually be cracked. You and Strand bot, Brissy top, him mid. You just need to find a jungler.
No, Brissy's gonna play support.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna play jungle?
Yeah, I'm gonna play jungle.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I got some.
Yeah, for sure.
That Teemo.
You got any more thoughts on the series, Joe?
Not really. Shout out to Bewear. Honestly, I think like Firestorm Boxer is so freaking OP, bro. One of the highest value players in the entire league.
Oh yeah.
But no one talks about it because he was a captain. He didn't get drafted. Like if I picked this guy, we'd be like, oh, Firestorm, highest point value player ever. But he was the captain, so he doesn't get that praise. I think he deserves it.
I think if he comes back and he's not a captain, like I actually think he's going first round or high second, like second round sort of.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick his ass, bro.
Still get slept on. I mean, like he shouldn't be, but
listen,
he was captain last season.
Next season, if I'm a captain and I see Firestorm, I'm picking him. All right, I'm picking him.
That's fair. I mean, he DM'd me after like their season officially ended, and was like thanking me for the opportunity and everything, and like,
oh no, tell me he's coming back, right?
Yeah, no. Okay. I mean, he genuinely enjoyed the season, and
hey, you know what? Respect him. Respect Firestorm. I mean, me and Jason pretty much agreed on our power rankings that we both ranked him. I think like fourth or something like that in the power rankings. So big shout out to him. He was a good player. And yeah,
good dude.
Yeah, let's move on to our next series. McMammals versus Final Boss. Final Boss, like we said at the start, kind of finding their footing in this series again. Really dominant early game from Final Boss, was 0-9 at one point, and then just a couple of good fights to help McMammals stay in the game. But overall, just Final Boss was just played better. The Seraphine Ziggs pick from Rob this series was just so good, too good. Rob figured out that, man, I have to play mage bot lanes in order to actually win in Summit right now, and I know he's crying inside too. Is like he doesn't want to play them because he wants to play the Cog, the Callista, the Jinx, all these different other champions that not mage bot lanes pretty much. And then game 2, rest of the series, kind of looks like just game 1, dominant early game, turns into strong team fights for Final Boss. Nocturne I thought was just a really good pick, just was poorly executed. And honestly, just talk about McMammals real quick. Start of the season, everyone thought this team was like gonna win it all, sort of thing. Like they on paper,
they look good on paper.
On paper, they looked really solid. Like you have 3 winning lanes. Silver jungler, but he's gonna play for the team. And he's not gonna 1v9 games like Sprinklrr. But this team on paper looked really good. But now we're at week 6, and they're last overall, which is crazy to me. So I mean, it definitely sucks. And then also a little bit of info for like Pool A, if anyone is curious. The bottom 3 teams that didn't make playoffs for Pool A all went 1-6 for a series. Won 1 game, lost 6. Just a little interesting point to add to that. But yeah, I mean, nothing really else to say about these 2 teams. I mean, neither of them made playoffs. I think if Final Boss had like 2 to maybe 3 more weeks, I think they were good. They definitely had a run to make it to the playoffs. But yeah, that's really all I got. Giuseppe.
Yeah. So, as some people know, the format for Summit changed this year to make the season shorter, and obviously, GamerD is well aware of this. And I think like the sentiment of maybe if the regular season was longer, they could have made playoffs is probably true. And because in Summit season 3, 2, whenever Goofy Gophers won, so the corporate budget cuts, the team I was on got 3rd. We started the season 0-4, but we played 9 regular season series. We played like a full round robin, if I recall correctly. So that very easily could have been Final Boss. And the whole like mage bot thing is just so interesting to me because Rob is like, or like Goblin, like his persona is being like the carry. Like that's really, really his thing. And he kind of sort of sacrificed to like put the team first and try to win some of the series down the stretch, which was pretty cool to see, honestly, if anything. X-Ray is showing his Discord on screen right now, and he's in the Rookies and Cream server. That is very suspicious.
I'm in there too.
Yeah, it's just we're in there for the Minecraft channel. We're just here to play in the Minecraft server.
Yeah, it's a local Minecraft server.
Very interesting. Possible collusion. The League of Times reporting.
Fair. Oh, GamerD is turned off his camera. Hey, there's the screen. Oh, there we go.
Don't mind me.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, like some McMammals, dude. Like, what the hell happened? Like, seriously. At the start of the season, Dean was in chat. He was like, Nico wins for sure. 4 D2 players. And I was like, good point, Dean. How is anyone going to beat them? Because they basically just put their jungler behind them, their little silver jungler, and they have 3 winning lanes every game and they win. Not the case. Not the case at all.
I think, social skills is a big part of what makes a Summit team successful at the end of the day. I think Nico and Pai have a very different style of how they want to play a League of Legends game that didn't quite mesh. Pai is very gung-ho. Nico wants to sit back, scale when the game late. That's kind of like his thing. And then I think Spirit Man overall was just like lost, honestly. The guy peaked Master. He throughout the season did not play like it. Like at one point he was like top 10 Bard in NA, and
really,
where was that? Just like, I don't know if it was just like Spirit Man fell off, just like his play wise, or like hasn't committed to the game as much as like he used to or something, but just like he looked like he wasn't there. I mean, like, I think his like Nico and I played a lot better of a bot lane than Nico and Spirit Man did, and Spirit Man is 3,000 LP higher than I am. So I think, it just comes down to like social skills. Okay. You have to be a good teammate. You have to be able to play with each other. You have to be able to adapt to other play styles. I think I Won't Back Down played fine. Like throughout the whole season, he did what you would expect out of a bronze jungler. Like,
right.
Better.
Somebody, better than that. Just somebody who's going to play the utility champions and go in on a Moo and press R. But the rest of the team just fell short.
For sure.
I will say, I think in defensive spirit, man, I don't know this guy, but I think that he scaled. So maybe it was just a matter of coming into the season rusty. I think at the end he started looking pretty good. He had some nice recon performances, if I remember. I also think what was really tough about this team environment is that they drafted around this idea of mid 80 carry flexibility. Pyrosis and Nico can both play 2 roles at a high level. And that simply did not pan out. And I imagine it was probably due to some bot lane synergy thing. But they perma-swapped Nico into mid. And then I think, from what I've seen, Pyrosis is probably better at mid and Nico is probably better at 80 carry. And maybe they would disagree, and I could certainly respect their own opinions of themselves. But that didn't really work. And then John Dye being off role, he just struggled massively pretty much the whole season. And I don't really blame him for that. The team stayed in it. They played all their games. They didn't quit. Nico almost got traded. Not quite, though.
Nico wanted to quit.
And they made it through the season, I think.
Yeah.
So, good for them. So much for fun, At the end of the day, shouldn't forget that.
Yeah.
I think, and I kind of talked about this in the power rankings episode, but won't back down. By far, I think, per his point value, he played beyond comparison. He played way better than, his point value was, given. I think, let's see. Yeah, he was a 24 point pick. And if you would compare it to some of these other junglers, and actually just any player in Summit at this point, he played to be expected, maybe even better. So, I mean, big shout out to him. He played well, good job. But yeah, I think with that, we'll move on to the 1,000-year Dynasty versus Power of Friendship. There was a VOD, but I heard it was just really bad quality, so I did not watch it. But I know 1,000-year 2-0'd. If you guys got any information on that, please share. I have no... specifically about 1,000-year.
POF Crumble. Luton is fucking OP, bro. That guy is so good at the game. It's crazy. Literally God's
He's
gift
honestly
to ADC.
just God's gift to ADC.
God's gift to ADC.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah, and then Dean is so far ahead of the rest of the support pool that helps a lot. People talked a lot about comparative advantage in top lane. Drafting Owen or Juan Cake gets you a huge advantage because the next highest player is D4, and then after Banana, everyone's in piss low. Sorry, X-Ray.
By the way, I've sold every single person so far.
That's true. You're the GOAT. I would have drafted you. I actually, you were on my draft board, but I kind of, I sort of ran out of money. But I got the GOAT ISO Didact instead, so I'm happy. But yeah, people don't talk about that comparative advantage in terms of support, but that's actually what Dean is. I think having your 0-point player be support, I was no, I'm not going to do that just because of how I view the role, and knowing that he would be supporting me or any other non-super high elo 80 carry, it makes that less valuable in my eyes. But I think that the relative difference in skill and game knowledge is actually just sizable enough that it's been really crucial. And SK Evaps, man. He's 9 years old and he's sick as fuck at the video game.
I thought he was 12.
No, he's 9.
8. He's 8 years old.
I heard he was 6, actually.
I heard this guy was still in the stomach of his mother.
He's in someone's stomach, bro. Have you seen the way he plays jungle, bro? That volley, dude, when he played top lane against Cheese, he was in Cheese's stomach, dude, on that volley there. That shit was nuts.
Oh, bro. We're slowly becoming a fucking X-rated. But yeah.
I can't be here.
Honestly, I mean, overall, I mean, 1,000 Year, I think they've now they haven't been like the this best team, right? But they have been one of those teams that have been always in that playoff picture at all. So good on them. Well played. But we'll move on to your guys' series actually, Elo Surfers versus World Soup Center. You guys 2-0, which congrats to that. Game 1. Early lead for World Soup Center was just looking really good for the first 7 minutes. And then after that, they didn't get a kill and just proceeded to lose every team fight. And really big shout out to you two, Affection and Gamer D. You guys were just holding it down the bot lane. The Ashe was super crazy. Good Ashe arrows and everything like that. So good props to you. Gumby, really solid. Performance on the Zed. A couple of times he got picked, but still turned it around. And then Hootie, I think honestly had probably his best performance to date. In this game specifically, his Lee Sin looked cracked. His J4 was pretty solid. And then game 2 is, I'm not gonna be honest, there's not a whole lot to say. There was 4 kills for World Soup Center, and they were both on Owen and Hootie, and no one else got a kill on the side of World Soup Center, and Elo just kind of destroyed them. So it's like not much to really say about it. But I'll let Gamer D hype up his boys.
Obviously, I was gone throughout everything that you just said.
That's okay. I was talking about how goated you guys are.
No, I mean, yeah, ISO's the GOAT. I mean, he kind of piss carries every single game.
Yeah.
What more could you want from a 6'4" king? Just absolutely holding it down in the top lane. Nobody honestly can match him throughout the whole league. I don't know why he's not number 1 in PRs. People are just disrespectful because of his silly little rank. But I mean, he's the GOAT. Joe and I are just kind of in the backpack of ISO. Gumby hops in every once in a while, and Sultan, he's also tall as shit, so he can walk on his own.
Soupcan is goated. He's scaled up very well. Like early season, he kind of looked a little rusty, but honestly, these last couple weeks, he's been playing really well. So props to him.
Realistically, though, I think the whole series, Owen was kind of in desperation mode of I have to piss carry or we're gonna lose, which is obviously a really shitty feeling for anybody. Obviously, it didn't quite work out. Gumby kind of has a lot better of a supporting cast than Owen did. I think just the underperformance throughout the season of World Soup Center kind of compared to what he's capable of. I don't think he adapted very well to Nico getting banned. In previous seasons, it was a pick that he could lean on and dominate on, and this season people took note of that, banned the Syndra, and he was just kind of a non-factor with those.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny you say that, because it's he actually got Nico. I think week 1 or 2, I don't remember, but he actually got Nico. But then he proceeded to go Owen something. He didn't get a kill. He was not playing well at all, and he kind of got destroyed on Nico. So I mean,
shit happens.
It happens. So I
can't have 100% win rate on a champ. I don't know.
Fair.
But yeah, I think Bird Person might have bought his account. I don't
Whoa.
Just the wave management that you would expect from an E1 peaker just wasn't there. I think Joe and I multiple times were accidentally pushed a wave too fast or something like that, and we're both oh, never mind. Bird Person just fixed it for us. So I don't know if he's in like the same vein as Demi or just like he has hands, but like doesn't know how to manage a wave. But like he didn't quite see the hands considering like his top 2 picks were Jin and Varus, and it's like kind of unimpactful picks, kind of in a I don't know environment where you have to at least try to be a little bit of a threat from bot lane. I'm surprised they didn't try to pick up any mage picks bot lane. Kind of like a lack of adaptability. I don't know. It kind of seemed like solo duo games are kind of low on that team. I mean, from what I've heard, I mean, there's like 3 people on the team kind of putting in effort. Everybody else kind of wasn't. But obviously, I have insider information regarding that.
Fair.
But yeah, I think that team had a really high potential. I think Sloth looked very, very good towards the end of the season. Skilled very well on the bar, and Lulu and other very comfort picks like Renata and Morgana. Obviously, Owen's Owen. Not quite in his, collegiate career mode anymore, but he's still very, very good and, needs a supporting cast and a secondary carry to kind of support him.
Sure.
But wasn't quite there.
And Giuseppe, got any thoughts on this one? Of your win?
No, like Gamer D said, ISO Didact pretty much just carried the shit out of us. Which is actually true in a way, because like the reality for us this series is if ISO goes like anything other than 4 deaths in lane, it's kind of a free win. And that's pretty much exactly what he did. Like Owen did not have a large enough lead to mitigate the bleeding that was happening elsewhere. Sort of the reality of this team that Colin and I are on, the ELO surfers, is that if we're winning bot, you lost. Like the game is over if your bot is losing. It's just the nature by which we were drafted. Like our weakest lane is bot relative to the skill levels of other players in the league.
Right.
And I think for World Soup Center it was just really tough because we picked Ashe Blue 1, which has some laning prowess, like the range and the slow. And then their bot lane just played really, really scared. And I think part of it is like the sentiment. It's like, oh, like we're weak side, we can't feed. But like at one point they just like walked off the wave when it wasn't even frozen. And stuff like that I think just really hurt them. And I think a lot of that kind of comes from like the psychology of how you approach the game. Like, are we trying to win? Are we trying to play safe? Like, I think a lot of times, like this is something that Gumby emphasizes a lot. Like when he talks to the team, is like, just don't play like a bitch. Like you need to put like nameplates off and like treat every matchup as sort of an isolated instance in which if you come with the right approach, you'll win, sort of like regardless of rank. And I think that's really important in Summit. Like there's obviously something to be said for loss mitigation. Like that's a really, really valuable skill as a low elo player. But I think if you come into the lane and play the matchup incorrectly intentionally because you think you're going to lose, you are ensuring it. So you might as well try to win and like play to your champion's strengths until you eventually get out microed, which is probably going to happen. It's happened to Colin and I like 10 times this season, where it's like, all right, like we have double range, like we can try to play for push here, and then I like walk up and I lose half my HP, and now we have to be bitches again. It's just kind of how it goes.
For sure.
But yeah, our team is really awesome this season. I think that we have sort of built a lot of synergy, and Gumby and Sulpan like working together and building that more, I think has been really, really crucial. Like obviously like everyone's like, oh, we're holding it down, like they're like, oh, ISO in the bot line are holding it down. We're getting the fuck backpacked out of us every single game. We get backpacked so fucking hard by Gumby Power and Sulpan, bro. It's hilarious But at the same time, if you value winning, who gives a shit? You know, like everyone's like, oh, this guy does no damage. True. I have the best player in the league. I don't need to do damage.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this is a good series for us. We were super locked in. This had like obviously really important playoff implications, and so we know we needed a 2-0. And so it was kind of foot on the gas the whole time.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I honestly thought you guys were actually gonna get first overall, but then the Gauntlet kind of shit the bed, and yeah. But let's actually talk about that game, the non-scheduled game, World Soup Center versus the Gauntlet. Game 1, we got KipKat out. He was out, don't know where he was. And we have a newcomer to the league, like I think joined like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Flaccid for you, and getting in
what
their
a
first
name.
Yeah. And yeah, honestly compared to what I saw from like clips, really solid player, and I was very happy. But yeah, in terms of kills, really close. But in terms of when those kills happened and where it was really was just really World Soup Center decided. Basically, every objective and every like fight that's the Gauntlet took and lost, it was just out of a really bad timer and just really bad locations around the map. And World Soup Center took very good advantage of this, and just really, really well done. Hootie, excellent job on getting early kills and snowballing really well. And the leash was like 7-0, so really well done by the Gauntlet. So props to them. Flaccid, I honestly just thought, you know, for his Summit debut was actually not bad. Like really good comms.
He got gap.
Yeah, listen, he had really good comms overall. Just good player. I think he had some good plays. You know, there were definitely missteps. So don't get me wrong. But I'm gonna hype up Sloth now. Okay, I was kind of a Sloth hater for the whole season, but listen.
Kinda.
Game recognized game. So I mean, game 2, the Gauntlet had a really early lead. 21 minutes in, never saw kinda, because basically the Gauntlet knows they're strong, and they never saw wants to, I guess, force a fight to maybe like force Baron, I guess. But never saw basically goes in, flashes to kill. Gosh, I don't even remember who. I think it was Swain, but you know, never saw is like just forcing really hard. Gamer D is advertising his beer. Right, and I mean, I think just World Soup Center recognizes that, hey, never saw is out of position and Bronze Cena, and they all just collapse on him. And you know, really good play. Woojin just oversteps a little bit and is able to get caught as well. PPP and KipKat just, or not KipKat, Flaccid are able to get out.
Flaccid, bro.
That's what I'm calling.
This guy's name is Flaccid for you.
Yep.
What a freak.
For you and Poopy Boner in the same league. We are cooked.
But I think the Gauntlet had a couple good fights and definitely had winning chances, but it was kind of like game 1 of like they just had really bad team fights. But honestly, I think it came down to MVP. Listen, I haven't done an MVP all season, but I got one this week. Sloth. Her Bard this game was nuts. Her Bard ults stopped the Gauntlet so many times from helping Neversaw. They basically would 4-man or 5-man her every time, and Sloth ulted the Gauntlet's team and basically stopped the Gauntlet from ever getting to Neversaw to save her. And you know, she played phenomenally. The Bard, once again, just she played it a couple weeks ago, played phenomenally, and she does it again. And
yeah, that's the person that taught me how to play Bard. Like,
goated.
Is a significantly better Bard than I am, and I think if World Soup Center would have just put her on board every single game, might have been a little bit better. Also, like a season 5 like plat player on Lulu. So I think like if they would have stuck her to those 2 picks, it probably would have resulted in a little bit better of results from bot lane. But no, like her bard's cracked. Like
for sure,
it is better than mine.
And then my last thing before send it over to you guys, Hootie, really good, great game this and this one specifically, 87 kill percent, blah, 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 blah. He had 20. He was a part of 20 kills, and there were 23 kills on his team. So pretty solid. Really good rotation. So, but yeah, Gamer D, I know you shared some of your thoughts on Sloth, but what are your thoughts on the series?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just kind of glad that a team showed up without any kind of like playoff implications for themselves, knowing that they were eliminated and beat the shit out of the other team. Like, that's honestly just like shows kind of like the kind of team you are, the kind of humans you are, to like still play a game despite being eliminated, show up, not troll pick, and win. Like,
yeah,
honestly, like,
no, I get it. No,
super
I
cool,
agree.
and that's kind of like what you want and what you expect out of a team in a league like Summit, where it's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not making playoffs, but I can play spoiler for this one team, so let's beat the shit out of them.
Yep,
and they did it. Like,
sure.
that's fucking cool.
Yeah, sure. Just so big.
I think a lot of the success from World Soup Center this game came due to the lack of pressure. Once the stakes are low, you have nothing to lose at this point in the series or in this point in the season. I think they became a lot more aggressive, and I think maybe Sloth in particular was the exemplification of that. A lot less afraid to make plays. Like, she played Bard against us, and I wouldn't really say that I really noticed it, at least as far as the potential playmaking with the ult. But the contrast and like the aggression and just like trying to be a playmaker, I think was just really different. But also, like the Gauntlet has sort of had their fair share of woes recently. Mm-hmm. to quote Jason, they've had like 50 subs in the past week. This team has been like a revolving door ever since like the sporadic thing when he quit. And now they have Woojin, who granted has subbed several times for several different teams, looks a little rusty in the bot position. And so I think he's certainly a capable player, and they just need to get the most out of him. And I think part of that is going to be him really committing and playing the game and stuff. So the Gauntlet looks very shaky right now.
Yeah. Like
very, very shaky. And they're slated for a really tough playoff matchup with the number 1 seed from Group A, Rookies and Cream. Mm-hmm. But I don't think this is a team to be counted out necessarily. I think any of the teams with the elite mid laners, like ours, the Gauntlet, there is a pretty high chance that player just backpacks. And like same with like a Searle on Wawa Warriors. Like there's a chance that these like Giga players just backpack games. And in playoffs, like you get cheesed once, like your super high elo player backpacks the second game. All right, now you have 3 tries to beat them fair and square. Like
in the best of 5.
Anything can happen. So definitely not counting them out. I do think they are probably the weakest team coming out of Group B. But we'll see what they do in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with that, we're actually going to talk about playoffs. So I basically substituted predictions this week. We're still doing predictions. Don't worry. It's just happening behind the scenes at this point. And we're talking about playoffs, actually, for this week. So, starting off, got Rookies and Cream versus the Gauntlet, Elo versus Summit Admins, Wawa Warriors versus GFC, and then Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs versus 1,000. Basically how it worked is, so seed 1 from both groups got to pick their team that they wanted to face off in, and then if they selected, say, the number 2 seed, cool, the number 2 seed from group A or pool A can now select 3 or 4, but actually I'm pretty sure everyone selected not pool 2, the first seed, so it pretty much just got instantly locked in after the first picks. So starting off with Rookies and Cream versus the Gauntlet. Rookies and Cream, just looking like the greatest team right now. Really strong, really dominant performances, and like Giuseppe said, the Gauntlet just looking very rocky. And while I don't think Rookies and Cream will 3-0, I still think they'll win the series, but I think Neversaw being in the game is going to leave a much larger impact than people think, I would say. And, like Giuseppe said, it's like these players, Gumby, Neversaw, in the mid lane, they can just backpack games. So, granted, Neversaw versus Array, I think is going to be very interesting because, for the last couple of weeks, Array has just had these really dominant performances in Pool A. So, we'll definitely see how it goes. I think, honestly, this is going to be a very, this specific series, it's going to be jungle and mid. That's all we care about. It's who's better. Not Soulpan. Neversaw or or Triple P or TV and Array. I was thinking you guys were playing. I
think TV and it has a huge advantage here. I think Touch Figure has scaled very well throughout the season, going from pretty much a Viego one trick to pulling out a lot of other pocket picks like the Nunu. Looking
crazy.
Good last couple of weeks. I think they're going to match very well into the Gauntlet. I think that their bot lane is significantly better than the Gauntlet's bot lane.
Right.
And I think that the LP gap in the mid lane, while it's only 200 LP or so, I think that Array's going to do a fine job of mitigating. Neversaw talks about a best of 5 buff that they'll get. I hope to see it. Honestly, this is one of the matchups that I hope that we aren't playing at the same time during, because I want to watch. I think of all the series, I think maybe us versus some admins, and then this matchup is the matchup to watch.
I think it's good. I think this matchup. Yeah, this matchup is going to be the most chaotic, I should say, because it's basically, does Neversaw perform well, and can Array stop the Neversaw from creating this chaotic game. And then I just want to shout out Woojin, coming in. I'm really excited to see this bot lane as well. Prickiness versus Woojin. And then the top lane is also very interesting. Mr. Liz or Bronze Cena, he's been this kind of character who's been very dominant and
Elo sitter.
Yeah, no joke. He said his peak is plat or something like that. No, this guy is a high emerald player, bro.
Allegedly. The accounts that we know of.
Okay, fair.
$50 if you find a higher account from Bronze Cena.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm finding this account because I want that $50. And then once again, Pat's Thick, I think, has just been this rock in the top lane for Rookies and Cream. Played the Urgot, which was very questionable. I thought his Urgot was. You know what? I'm just gonna kind of say it. It was kind of shit. All right, it was kind of bad. Okay.
Cook that fraud.
That
What is that?
That was bad. Okay. It was bad. But yeah, I don't think I really have a whole lot else to say about this one. Giuseppe, you got any thoughts on this one?
Should be good. I mean, I'm just excited to watch Neversaw versus Array. Like in my understanding, Neversaw has like sort of helped Array make the transition to mid lane. And I think that this game is like entirely dependent on mid jungle.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Rookies and Cream has the advantage in the jungle theoretically with touch vigor over PPP, but like PPP is not a shitter. Like he may not stream as many games as we would like him to, but he's a very competent player. And then the same goes to Array versus Neversaw. I don't think that Array is going to get absolutely like shit on my chest, like terrible, like shit stomps. I think the bot lanes will go like relatively even. But I guess, maybe something that's worth considering is the possibility that the Rookies and Cream bot lane does actually win. Just because like KitKat's a bit auto-filled, like playing support down there after like the whole sporadic shuffle.
There's gonna be a huge support gap.
Yeah.
Pony's
pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think like honestly like the key for mid is just like scaling, which Neversaw is fine doing, but I think if you're Array, you're kind of content scaling into the late game, knowing that you have like TV in your back pocket as well as a theoretically stronger AD carry. I think it's Rookies and Cream favored, but we'll see what old Cheese is up to in that top lane. He might get the best of Pat.
Fair. Yeah, I think that about covers that one. I mean, if I'm thinking of like a score line, I kind of hope it goes to 5 games. I think it'll be like a 3-1, 3-2 Rookies and Cream. But honestly, I could see it going either way. Honestly.
Yeah, I think it goes to 5 too. Honestly, I think it will.
And then moving down in that bracket, Elo versus Summit Admins. Gumby, Sulpan, I mean, goated duo. And then on the other side, I mean, you have Woncake and Cookies Frost. All these players are playing really good. I'm interested to see, because I think you guys played them already, no?
Yeah.
It's 2-1.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how a 5-game series will go. Because I think, some admins took that game, right?
No, we won.
We won? Okay.
Elo did, yeah.
But honestly, I actually think you guys are a really good matchup for Summit admins, actually. Because I think, like, you guys are just able to kind of neutralize, or not neutralize, but Gumby is able to kind of stop Frost from, doing what he did to Loco, right? Like, Gumby is going to be in this guy's face the whole time and everything like that, and stop Strand and Tubby from, kind of just neutralizing this bot lane for you guys. Even though I don't think much would happen in the bot lane overall, but and then Soupcan, I think just once again, I think he's getting into that groove. We've seen a couple seasons ago where he was just like this jungler that could not be beaten, and so yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. ISO, hopefully he can kind of hold it down in that bot lane or that top lane versus Woncake, because Woncake has been heating up this last couple weeks. So don't got a whole lot to say about this one either. I think some admins take the dub just of previous results and everything like that. I think Elo, though, I think this one goes to 5 games as well, though. So, but Giuseppe Heck, what's
to argue that some admins is like maybe probably our second hardest matchup, because Frost's strength is like loss mitigation, like stonewalling a higher elo mid, by picking things like Vladimir, which are relatively safe in lane and scale. So I think that it's difficult for us because they have Woncake top. And ISO has shown that he's able to, like hold his own against these higher elo laners. But it's not going to be like a Gumby roll where he just like kills their mid laner 10 times, because Frost has shown that he's able to survive. And then I think the bot lane matchup is fairly even. And so I think it's really going to come down to sort of the team play around jungle and the various top side objectives. Because like two Masters junglers, obviously I think like Silpan probably has the edge because he's been playing the role for longer, but Cookies has looked pretty good, especially on the Poppy. I think it's going to be an interesting series. In our series in the regular season, the first game that we won, it was a little sketchy for us at times. So I think this is my hot take for the climb. I think 3 of the top 4 teams are on the left side of the bracket. I think the best 3 teams are some admins, Elo Surfers, and Rookies and Cream. I think that this whoever wins this, whoever comes out of the left side of the bracket is probably winning. I think Wawa Warriors might also be pretty strong. Sorry, X-Ray. Tinklrrs, not this year.
I think you're capping.
Yeah. We'll see. You gotta get past 1,000 in your dynasty first. I don't know. I think we'll win, but obviously I'm on the team. I think that Colin and I are gonna be fine bot. They're gonna pick some like cringe that just auto pushes every wave.
Yep.
But that's okay.
I mean, Colin, what got anything else to say about your matchup this week or next week, I should say? You're muted.
Yeah, I think I goofed doing my job before being a player, and reminded Morn that he has a little bit of time to rethink his decision of who he wants to pick.
It's so funny because I actually messaged Morn too, and I was like, "Hey, who you picking?" And he was like, "I'm gonna pick Summit Admins," and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay," and so I was like, "Oh yes." Actually, it still would have been bad. I would have had to play him in the bracket, but I thought it was crazy, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, originally, obviously, they picked some admins and then switched to Gawr's first grade class after further consideration. I think, like Joe said, I think it's always fun to play against Stran and Tubby and Cookies and all people that I just genuinely enjoy interacting with. I think that's just the core of Summit, and what makes it enjoyable is just playing against friends who you can bullshit about the game before and after, despite what the results are. I hope for a 5-game series. I hope that it's close, and I hope that my heart implodes or whatever playing in it. Obviously, we won the last series, but it's a best of 3. Who knows what could happen at best of 5?
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, I'm confident in Elo Surfers, but I think some admins. I think they're a fun opponent, and I look forward to the match. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Should be a banger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we're losing. I think this season is my best chance to win.
Okay.
So I'm fucking locked in, bro. I might be shit, but I'm gonna be a little less shit.
Okay. I've been practicing the Kennen support. I can't wait to pull it off against Tubby. I'm gonna fucking wreck his ass with Electrocute level 1. He's just gonna get cooked.
Yeah, ban it, Tubby.
I'm gonna wreck his ass with Kennen support and then take him on a date afterwards.
Okay. Before you guys trash talk Tubby more, let's move on to our next playoff game: Wawa Warriors versus Gawr's first grade class. On the side of Wawa Warriors, I mean, definitely we had no clue what this team was in the middle of the season, just because they only had played 2 games, and then week 5 they come in and play 4 of their last 5 games, and I was like, oh, okay, so this team actually it is a playoff contender. And then after week 5 they actually locked playoffs, so I was like, wow, okay, hang on, this team might actually be good. And then they lost their last playoff, or not playoff game, but their last game.
Series.
Yeah. Sorry, thank you. But
no Baratel. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I think just unfortunate circumstances with that one, but it happens.
Just like
I hope he's doing well. I hope he's feeling better.
I don't know, spirit of the rules type shit. Just like
yeah,
I don't know. Summit's there was built for like friends against friends, and like I don't know, gonna try to take away a lot more shit that just like lets people abuse the rulebook against another group of friends. Like I don't know, it's just shitty.
Yeah, I think
I do not fit with people who want to abuse the rulebook to gain wins.
Right. Yeah, I think like at the end of the day, someone made a ruling. It was a ruling. It happens. Cool. I think we just take it.
Yeah,
and
I
go
have
back
phone in my pocket for like an hour trying to set up Thanksgiving, and then
it's all right.
Oops.
It happens. I am mad about it, but I mean, I think Wawa Warriors is definitely a team to be trifled with. I think Morn and Azrael are doing really well, and then
Azrael is actually the best ADC I've ever seen play the game.
Right.
I laned against Gumayushi. Real, true, fact.
You played against the real Gumayushi?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Okay.
No,
not actually. Azrael's this guy's OP.
But no, I think both of them just have a really good supporting cast. Sifra, Mahat Daddy, and Baratel. I think just really good supporting casts. Moore did a really good job about
drafting. This season is just Baratel proving that he should never go undrafted again. Like, he is actually the economy pick of Summit. Like, he's put in a lane that he said on many occasions he never wants to play. He sucks at this, like, isn't the role for him. And he is, like, just playing his role throughout the whole fucking season and doing extremely well. Like, Baratel is the economy pick. And the fact that he went undrafted last season is a fucking crime.
Okay.
He's holding it down.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing those scaling, like, tank top laners that just, like, early game, they're kind of, like, squishy. But once they get to, like, 30 minutes, they're just unkillable. He plays those unkillable type champions, and he's doing really well. And on the other side, I mean, GFC, I mean, they're just in a slump right now. They beat Power Friendship, sweeped Power Friendship per Jason. So I mean, definitely like a good bounce back, right? But it's like, okay, now you're playing Pool B's first seed. What now? How are you going to take it and actually create that that win sort of thing? So I think Jason and Brissy versus Azrael and Sifra are going to be a very interesting match. I would say Odysseus is definitely favored in the MHD lane, and then Morn. I mean, you clearly got to favor Morn versus Adolfo. I think just Morn has a much larger champion pool than Adolfo. And then honestly, I mean, Baratel and Gawr, at this point, with how Gawr has been playing, it's kind of a 50-50 for me. So
come on, bro.
Listen, I'm just calling how I see it, bro. Man. I'm just calling how I see it, man. I'm just calling how I see it, okay? But
no, slander.
Slander? Nah.
Yes.
Nope.
I mean, I agree. Baratel has been playing well, but Gawr, dude, Jason, this guy is very effective at peddling narratives. Gawr has not been playing that bad.
Gawr sucks. I solo killed him. I got in his head. Okay.
Yeah, but you're the GOAT, bro. You solo kill everybody.
Listen, I was actually, dude, that whole series versus GFC, like, Gawr was just not playing well, and it was so funny to me because as soon as I solo killed him level 1, he just was like, I'm done playing the game. My mental's out of the door. So, but no, I actually DM'd. I'll a little bit of a spoiler, but I DM'd Jason. I was like, hey, do you beat Wawa Warriors? And he's like, yeah. It's like, okay, I trust you. So I picked GFC to beat Wawa Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think
You
that
asked
this
the
matchup.
worst source.
No.
Yeah, bro lies for a living. Have you ever
No.
watched his stream?
No, I trust Jason. I trust Jason, okay?
I've known him for 10 years, and I don't trust the guy.
Nah. See, that's where you're wrong. You gotta trust Jason. I trust Jason. I believe in him.
I trust him with my life, but I do not trust him about predictions of League of Legends.
You don't trust him to win the versus Wawa Warriors?
No, Astro's the fucking GOAT. Like, what? What's he gonna do? He's gonna get Lucian banned, and he's gonna play Jhin, a fucking non-factor ADC, into the best ADC that Summit has ever seen. Like, he's just gonna get punished. Like, what? Like, no. And then Wawa is just disgusting. Like, Morn is one of the best junglers ever in Summit, and it's just the duo is disgusting.
Okay.
Tough to beat. I do, however, think Summit Admins is certainly a better team than GFC at this point.
Yeah.
But I think this matchup is harder for Wawa Warriors than some admins, because Wawa is gapped theoretically in both solo lanes, and the GFC bot lane with Asian Jason will be more effective at mitigating a Searle than the SA bot lane would have been.
Do you think Jason's going to play to mitigate, though?
I think he's going to have no choice when he gets auto-attacked every time he tries to get a CS. That's what happened to me. You know?
I just think the ego might get a little bit in the way there.
No, I think Jason is an actor. I think he's actually very smart, but I think
the guy's a fucking
plays
genius.
into the persona.
If the guy would have fucking applied himself, he would have been a doctor by now. Like,
instead he's unemployed.
Shit.
Oh, dude, these fucking...
I don't know. I think Wawa Warriors also, like, this is totally tangential and slightly self-serving, but like when you consider the cross-group matchups and the way that the Group B standings ended, Wawa Warriors played Alvin and the Chipmunks. Okay, you know, Elo Surfers played Summit Admins, right? So if we play them, we're first seed in Group B. Even though we lost to Wawa, I think that's, you know, like, we got shit on, no holds barred. But if we play Alvin and the Chipmunks and they play Summit Admins, maybe we're first seed, you know? So my point here is just that being first seed in Group B doesn't really mean that much because it was so close. Like, the standings were very, very competitive across the board. So I do think that, like, GFC is not, like, just, like, purely outmatched. Mm-hmm. That being said, Wawa Warriors in 2.
Okay.
In 2?
Yeah, in 2. They're not even going to want to play a third game.
I respect that.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, I think with that we go to our final game versus Sprinklrr Tinklrrs versus 1,000-Year Dynasty, and
I'm sure you got opinions.
I got opinions, but I think we start off with this. I'm actually gonna go back to this screen real quick, and I'm gonna look at the camera. VLN, I know you want the crown.
Yeah.
I know you want the crown, and I challenge you to come take it from me. All right. This is a declaration of war. God damn it! You better come top lane all 5 games if we play all 5. All right. And I'm gonna kick your ass every time. All right. You ready for this? You ready for this, VLN? Because after this, you may not be able to sit down. So, but going back to the matchup. I mean, I think I'm just gonna kick VLN's ass. SK Evaps, he's washed. Sprinklrr clears. Flash of Night, who is that guy? Loco,
true,
better player. Thimmy, who cares who he's playing against? Big Dummy, Loon, who cares? Them's the best. 1v9s, End of Fridge, best point value player on the team.
Do you remember who Thim lost to season 2?
No.
An auto-filled Bard main.
So? Did I stutter?
I don't know, man.
Kind of just like I'll be honest.
It's kind of scary. A little
Nah,
bit of Coke City.
I don't think Thim gets shit on that bad. Like I think this is actually like super Sprinklrr's favorite because
I do too.
like Evaps has low key been backpacking the shit out of 1000-Year Dynasty, and Sprinklrr is like one of 2 junglers that can outplay him. You know, maybe there are others like Sulpan Hootie, but Sprinklrr definitely can. As much as it pains me to say.
Listen, I'm trying to get
your Sprinklrr's flowers.
Nah, bro, fuck Sprinklrr.
Bro.
I'm trying to get to the I'm trying to get the Sprinklrr versus Elo finale.
That is exactly what I want to happen.
The goal.
Yes, X-Ray like
Sprinklrr versus Gumby in the same fucking house going against each other.
Wait, they live in the same house? Yes. I didn't know that.
You don't know Sprinklrr like you know Gumby, man.
So yeah. That's funny. But no, I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I don't think we 3-0. I can see us 3-0ing, but
I don't think there will be a single 3-0.
And I think out of all these series, I don't think there will be one. I think if there is one, I think it's going to be this one, in my opinion. You know, maybe that's a hot take. I
agree with that.
I think this, out of all the games, I think this is the only one that can go 3 games.
I mean, 1000-Year did get 41-0'd or whatever.
Yeah, 41-0. But yeah, you guys are gonna have a much more non-biased take on this. So, Giuseppe, you got any thoughts on this one?
I think it's Sprinklr's favorite, but dude, never count 1000-Year Dynasty out. They're like they're like the League of Legends equivalent of a bar fight. Like they just drag you into these fucking fiestas and they run around the map, and yeah, I definitely don't count them out. Like I said, Luton is God's gift to ADC. And Evaps is very good. Flash of Night also high value. VLN for a silver player, high value. And then Dean commanding the ship, cracking the whip more realistically.
Yeah. But Big Dummy 42nd in the draft? Picked 42nd, right? I think in the draft out of 56.
Yeah, but that's just the way values work.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not like this is the NBA draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's Sprinklr's favorite because I don't think that like Thim and Enderfridge get absolutely pissed on bot, and I think that's the win condition for 1000-Year Dynasty. Because X-Ray, I think you're winning this one, bro. I think you're winning that top matchup. I really do.
It's not.
I think Loco's winning the mid matchup or even. I think Sprinklr's winning the jungle matchup. Evaps will give him a run for his money, but I think he's winning it. If you guys just don't get pissed on bot, I think you win.
So here's a little fun fact. This was my last 4 weeks of my regular season schedule. So week 4, I played Gawr, which at the time was ranked 2nd in the top lane because he was just piss stomping a lot of the.
And you sent him to the pits of hell.
And then I played Owen. And then I played Wancake. And then I played Banana. So this is my break week. This is the week I destroy. This is the week VLN learns what Summit is. This is where he learns who the solo Bolo King is.
Are you gonna ban Set?
He doesn't need to.
See, it's funny because we talked about it, and I was like, "Yo, you pick Set, I'll pick Urgot, and we'll run it." And he said he's been practicing the Set versus Urgot matchup, and I know that matchup too very well on Urgot. So I don't know. Maybe if it happens, but I guess we'll see.
Could be cinema.
Could be cinema.
Could be.
More it wouldn't be as much cinema as Sprinklrr, Tinklrrs, and Elo Surfers finale.
That is absolutely true.
So
there's literally nothing I want more. Like X-Ray, you have to win.
If I lose to Sprinklrrs, Tinklrrs in the finals, I will fly to Ottawa and kick Sprinklrr's ass.
Yeah, bro, I'll come too.
Wait. What if we beat you guys? Because I know Giuseppe's coming to Boise, in December. Would you guys beat my ass if I beat you guys?
Yeah, I'll drive there and then I'll fly back with Joe to Boston, and then we'll drive up to Ottawa and kick Sprinklrr's ass.
Fair. Yeah. I like that. It'll be a 3v1 because Gumby will join in too. I know for sure.
Yeah, Gumby up there. For legal reasons, this is a joke.
No, legal reasons, this is not a joke. I'm scared for my life. Please send help. But yeah, I think with that is going to wrap up this episode of The Climb. So we are next week. There will be no content. Sorry, viewers. It's just how it is. We are on a break week, so we'll be back after this quarterfinals is done. And yeah, thank you, Mr. Gamer D, for joining us this week, and Giuseppe Hack, thank you for being an emergency sub. Appreciate it, sir. Glad you were here.
Said nothing of value.
Shout out, Joe.
You had all the good takes. Okay, that's
Viewed a lot of bullshit on this one. I will not lie.
Hey, emergency sub.
Did not watch all of the series all the way through.
That's okay.
I didn't watch
any, man. Bullshit to deal with.
Listen, guys, 13 games. We had to watch 13 series. You think I'm gonna watch all 13 series?
Yeah, and I had to play Blue Otter until midnight on Monday. That is
garbage.
Cats.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god! I will never make any of you guys do that. That is unreal.
Yeah, I will be honest. I just didn't have time or the willpower to watch all 13 series because.
Hey, you're employed, bro.
True.
Where's my paycheck?
You do a ton for Summit.
Where's my paycheck
already? And you have a job.
So. Yeah. So.
There we go, dude.
But yeah, we won't have anything next week. Sorry, but after quarterfinals, we'll come back, talk about the quarterfinal matches, talk about the semifinal matches, and yeah. With all that being said, thank you all.
Can I say something before we end?
Yep.
In December, Summit meetup. I know a lot of people probably won't be available, but we're coming back. I don't know if we'll be able to get a lot of the out-of-state people again, but if you're in Boise, let's hang out.
We can.
Thank you, X-Ray.
We'll do it. We'll do a small run it back. But,
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, with all that being said, thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next week or in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Bye bye.